Good morning, everybody. It's Elizabeth, the dietitian. Thank you again for joining me for another exciting day of healthy meal planning. We'll be making a lunch and wrapping up our conversation about fats that we started earlier in the week. So our lunch today is going to be salmon cakes. I'm going to be serving my salmon cakes over salad and lettuce. You could do whatever you want, just I want you to aim to make half of your plate vegetables for lunch today. If you make these salmon cakes, this is of course going to be our protein portion of the plate and a little bit of fat too. So to also wrap up our conversation about fats first before we get to cooking. So you remember when we talked at the beginning of the week, we talked about how when we are looking at labels at fats, grams kind of our abstract thoughts, not something that we generally relate to. So when we are looking at labels, I'd like to turn it into something I can relate it to. And 4 grams of fat is what we typically find in a teaspoon of butter. So when I look at a label, I convert everything into teaspoons of butter just to help give me some perspective as to the caloric content and the fat content of the foods. So when we were looking first, we were using mayonnaise, because I love mayonnaise, and every tablespoon of mayonnaise offers us 11 grams of fat. So if we were to convert that 11 divided by 4 is close to 3 teaspoons of butter in that tablespoon of mayonnaise. So we of course get fats from fats like mayonnaise and butter and oil, but we also get fat from avocados, and we also get a lot of fat from nut butters like peanut butter and almond butter, which is why when we looked at that almond milk, most of the calories are from fat because it is that nut. Also, we get fat from cream cheese is considered a fat, and sour cream. Now, fats also come from our protein sources too. When we are considering what kind of proteins we want to eat with our meal, there are different types of proteins. There's lean proteins, medium fat, and high fat proteins. Now, the definition of a lean protein is a protein that offers us 0 to 3 grams per ounce. So there is less than a teaspoon of butter per ounce when we are choosing these. So the medium fats are 4 to 8 grams per ounce. So that would be 1 to 2 teaspoons of butter per ounce of meat. And then the high fat meats are 8 plus grams, so more than 2 teaspoons in every ounce. Now they say an ounce of meat is not that big. An ounce of meat, they say, is about the size of a matchbook, right? So this would be about the size of an ounce of meat. So we are looking at, for lean, about a teaspoon in every matchbook size. And so we can see too how protein builds fat calories quickly too. So we always want to make sure that we're choosing lean proteins at most of our meals because the fat just adds up very, very fast. So examples of lean proteins would be fish, salmon, haddock, shrimp. Shellfish is considered lean. Chicken without the skin on it is considered lean. Game meat like venison and bison are considered lean too. As well as a lot of lean, there's some lean porks out there. There's also some higher fat porks, but there are some leaner pork products out there. Ham is considered lean for the most part. So those are considered lean meats. Medium fat meats are considered, there's a lot of beef in the medium fat. There's a lot of beef. The egg is considered medium fat too. Reduced fat cheese is in that medium fat category as well, so that would be that mozzarella part skim. It would also be reduced fat cheeses. Low fat and fat-free cheeses, we could put that in the lean meat category. High fat meats consist of bacon is considered high fat. Sausages are considered high fat. Hot dogs are considered high fat. Most hot dogs, even the chicken and the turkey hot dogs, still offer us more than 8 grams of fat in every ounce. A hot dog is considered an ounce, one hot dog. And if you think about it, that's like 2 teaspoons of butter in every little hot dog. It adds up quickly. So when we are choosing stuff, we want to aim towards those leaner meats. The chicken, the lean pork, the lean beef of 93 or better, which we had talked about earlier. Low-fat cheeses, Fish is another great one as well. And then it's okay to do the medium fats too. So like the whole egg is okay. Lean beef as we can get. All right. So I chose salmon for this meal because it is considered a lean meat. Let's get cooking though, and see how it goes. All right. For our recipe today, we start with 1 egg that we're going to scramble. And then we're going to add 2 cans of salmon. I went with the canned salmon because it's just very easy. If you already have some cooked salmon that you want to use up, this is a great recipe for that. So I'm going to do the 2 cans. And you can see that the canned salmon looks just like canned tuna. So canned salmon is not something to be afraid of, which I've noticed some people are afraid of canned salmon just because they've never opened a can before. All right, so we're going to mix that up in there. And then for the recipe, we are going to do 2 teaspoons of shallots. These are shallots that I already cut up. So we have 2 teaspoons of shallots mixed in there. And we're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of parsley. If you have fresh, you'll want to do a tablespoon. And then we're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of dill in there. Okay. And we're also going to do my favorite, of course, which is mayonnaise. We're going to do 2, it calls for 2 teaspoons of mayonnaise. Now this makes 2 servings. Each patty is going to be, each serving is 2 patties. So we're going to get 4 patties out of this. And when I was looking at the can of salmon earlier, the serving size is the whole container, and the whole container has 2.5 grams of fat in it, and it is a 4-ounce container. So each ounce is definitely less than that 3 grams per serving. And then I'm also going to put some fresh lemon in there too. I'll try not to get the seeds in there. Okay, and then we're going to mix that up. And voila, we have our salmon patty mixture. Now we're going to cook it. I formed my salmon into patties, and I also have my pan warming over medium heat. I probably put about a tablespoon of olive oil in there. I probably could have used my miso to spray to cut down on some of the fat. And then we're going to cook them. And we're going to cook them for 4 minutes on each side. So I'll come back as we flip it over. And now I already flipped 2, so let's flip the other 2, just so you can see what they look like. Here we go. And we'll cook them for another 3 minutes, and I'll meet you back here and see the final product. All right, now my cakes are cooked, both sides, 3 minutes on each side. And now I'm going to put them on my salad. And voila, lunch is served. I got my 4 ounces of lean protein. I got my vegetables. I am missing a starch in this meal, so I might consider adding a dinner roll or something along those lines. It looks delicious. I can't wait to eat it. Thank you again for joining me for another week of exciting meal planning and talking about nutrition. I look forward to seeing you next week. Stay safe this weekend, stay healthy, and next week we will talk about dinners. Yay! All right, thank you.